Look at the clock in your room right now, not later, not after this video, right now. Because there's a 6-hour window every single day when your body is at its most vulnerable. And most people walk straight into it completely unprotected. No new medicine, no new diet, no expensive supplements, just timing. Same pill, same dose, different hour. And for some people, that simple change can completely transform what happens inside their body while they sleep and when they wake up. But before you do anything, understand this clearly. I am not your doctor. Do not change your medication timing without speaking to the doctor who prescribed it. Some medications can be dangerous if taken at the wrong time. This is not about replacing your doctor. This is about asking a better question. Because your blood pressure is not a fixed number. It is not the same at noon as it is at midnight. It is not the same at 5 p.m. as it is at 5 a.m. Your body runs on a 24-hour rhythm, a biological clock that controls your hormones, your heart, your blood vessels, and your pressure. And if you have ever felt strangely tired in the afternoon, that is not random. Your blood pressure naturally dips after lunch. Your body shifts blood flow toward digestion. You feel slower, heavier, less sharp. That is your pressure dropping. Then, later in the day, around 4 or 5 p.m., something interesting happens. You feel a second wave of energy. Your body gives you one more push. Your pressure rises again slightly. Your brain becomes more alert. Your body prepares for one last active phase before rest. But the most important moment is not in the afternoon. It is not in the evening. It is early morning. Between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., your body goes through a powerful shift. Stress hormones rise rapidly. Blood vessels tighten. Heart rate increases. Blood becomes more prone to clotting. This combination creates a perfect storm. This is why a large percentage of heart attacks and strokes happen in the early morning hours. Not because of bad luck, because of biology. Now think about this. When do most people take their blood pressure medication? In the morning. Usually around 7 or 8 a.m. That means the medication reaches peak effect later in the day. It protects you well through the afternoon and evening. But by the time early morning comes again, nearly 24 hours later, the effect may be fading. For some people, that creates a gap, a window where the body is under the most stress and the medication is at its lowest level. Not everyone experiences this, but many do, and most never realize it because their blood pressure is only checked during the day, at the clinic, at 1 p.m., at 2 p.m., when everything looks normal. But what about 5 a.m.? What about the moment you wake up with your heart pounding? What about that dull pressure at the back of your head? What about waking up already feeling tense before your day even begins? That is where the real story is. There was a patient I once heard about named Henry. He was 68 years old, a retired baker. For decades, he woke up before sunrise. His hands knew how to work in the dark. After retirement, he built a greenhouse. It became his purpose. Every morning before dawn, he would walk outside, step into warm air, and tend to his plants. That routine meant everything to him. But slowly something changed. He started waking up with a heavy pressure in his head, not sharp pain, a dull, tightening sensation. His heart would pound, his hands would shake slightly. He began avoiding his mornings. Instead of going outside, he sat in a chair, waiting for the feeling to pass. By late morning, he felt normal again. His doctor checked his blood pressure in the afternoon. Everything looked fine. Numbers were controlled. On paper, he was healthy, but his mornings told a different story. What Henry was experiencing is something many people never measure. Early morning spikes. His medication was working during the day, but by early morning, its effect had likely worn down. No one noticed because no one was looking at the right time. This is where the conversation about timing begins. Some research has explored whether taking certain blood pressure medications at night instead of the morning could better align protection with the body's natural rhythm. Some studies suggested improved overnight control and better early morning protection. Others found no major difference in long-term outcomes. But one thing became clear. For many patients, timing can influence how well blood pressure is controlled across the full 24-hour cycle, especially during sleep, especially in the early morning hours, and especially in people whose blood pressure does not naturally drop at night. These people are sometimes called non-dippers. Their pressure stays elevated even while sleeping. That means their heart and blood vessels never truly rest. Over time, that constant pressure can affect the brain, kidneys, and cardiovascular system. But most people do not know if they are in this group because standard clinic readings do not show it. Only a 24-hour monitor can reveal that pattern. That is why the real conversation is not about blindly switching your pill to nighttime. It is about asking your doctor a smarter question. Are my mornings protected? Is my blood pressure controlled during sleep? Would a different timing help in my specific case? Because not all medications behave the same way. Some are long-acting, some are short-acting. Some are designed to be taken in the morning for a reason. Diuretics, for example, increase urination. Taking them at night can disrupt sleep and increase fall risk. Certain heart medications can affect heart rate during sleep. These decisions must always be individualized. But the idea that timing matters is not new. Your body does not follow a clock on the wall, it follows an internal rhythm. And aligning treatment with that rhythm can make a difference for some patients. Henry eventually had a conversation with his doctor. They reviewed his symptoms. They looked at his morning readings. They adjusted his medication timing carefully. Within days, his mornings began to feel different. Not perfect, but improved. The pressure eased. The pounding reduced. He slowly returned to his routine. Back to the greenhouse. Back to the quiet hours before sunrise. Back to the life he thought he had lost. And the change did not come from a new drug. It came from understanding when his body needed protection the most. Now think about your own routine. What time do you take your medication? Have you ever checked your blood pressure early in the morning? Not once, but over several days. Have you noticed patterns? Morning headaches, restlessness, early waking with a racing heart, frequent nighttime bathroom trips. These are not always caused by blood pressure, but sometimes they are signals worth paying attention to because your body speaks in patterns, not isolated moments. If your mornings consistently feel worse than your afternoons, that is information. And your doctor can use that information. The goal is not to change things on your own. The goal is to understand your body well enough to ask the right questions. Because the most dangerous assumption is thinking everything is fine just because one reading looks good. Real control means stability across the entire day, and especially during the hours you are not awake to feel it. So here is what you can do safely. Start observing. Measure your blood pressure at different times. Morning, afternoon, evening. Write it down. Notice how you feel at each point. Then bring that information to your doctor. And say this: I've been tracking my readings at different times, and my mornings seem higher than my afternoons. Could we look at whether my medication timing is right for me? That single question can open a much more meaningful conversation. Because medicine is not just about what you take. It is about when your body needs it most. And sometimes, the smallest shift in timing can reveal something that has been hidden for years. Your mornings matter, not just how they feel, but what they tell you about what is happening inside your body. And once you start paying attention to that, you're no longer guessing. You're understanding. And that is where real control begins.